Hey, it's Heather, and welcome to Adventures in Gardening. So today we're going to be planting some pansies, and I'm here in Connecticut Zone 6, and the nighttime temperatures are just leaving the upper 20s, like just yesterday, okay? And looking forward, it looks like we're in, the low to mid 30s for a little bit of a stretch, okay? Now, pansies love the coolness of the spring. Now, Heather, what if there's a frost? Pansies don't care. Well, what if it snows? Pansies don't care, okay? Pansies actually do better in the cool spring weather than they do in the heat of the summer. That's usually what does them in. Now, I have been trying to spread this word for years with people, and yet people still, in May, that's when they're looking for their pansies. Now, I can't speak for people in other parts of the country because I don't know what your springs are like, but ours are generally, we go from winter to days where it gets very, very hot, and the pansies just don't like that. So get them established early while the weather is still cool. Now, on some mornings, you will go outside and you'll find that your pansies' heads are laying down, okay? And they'll even have frost on them. But by the time the afternoon rolls around, they will be just fine. Now, I bought these the day that the garden center opened, okay? I've been waiting, because if I could get them on the 1st of March, I certainly would. But, and I never have success with sowing them myself in the fall and then having them in the spring. So, and that's all well and fine. But so what I did, because I took them directly from a greenhouse, is I had to harden them off myself. And a little tip, I leave them outside the day that I get them, and I just put them up against the house for a couple days, so that way they're in the cold but a little bit protected at the same time. So we're looking at about 2 days hardened off for these guys, and they are gorgeous. So I know this looks like a lot of pansies, but it is actually, we're going to use them up really fast today. There are 48 in a flat, and totally worth it, because I like to have my containers and my hanging baskets done 8 months out of the year as opposed to 5 months out of the year, okay? I don't want to wait until May to get something in them. Now, I will transplant them out later, but we'll talk about that a different day. So the first thing that we're going to do today is we're going to go get the hanging baskets off the front porch that still have the winter Christmas greens in them. Yep, they do, because I just can't stand an empty hanging basket. And then whatever's left, we're going to put them in the containers where I walk by them the most. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to empty out these hangers. And so after Christmas, actually probably right around middle of January, I took anything out of these hangers that looked like it was Christmas, the bows and the berries and everything. And then I just left the greens, and you can hear how crunchy they are, okay? Now, if some of these greens were prickly before, and now they are very, very prickly, okay? So we're gonna be wearing gloves, and I'm just gonna empty them out as quickly as possible, and then I'm gonna decide if we need all new soil or if I can just top these baskets off. So one little thing, this last year I picked this up. This is an Aldi find. If your Aldi's gets them, this is wonderful. I think I paid $20 for it, and it is so lightweight, and it's got wheels on one side, so it's like my new favorite wheelbarrow. So these containers, these hanging baskets of mine are 1 year old. I got them from Joann's last year, and when I went to put the Christmas greens in it, I couldn't open these latches, but this one seems okay. I don't know about the rest of them, but it sure does make it a lot easier to plant if I can open them up. And this soil is super, 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 super dry. I'm not going to remove all of this soil right now. In May, I will change these out, put the pansies someplace else, and put other annuals in here, and I'll probably change the soil then. I might also get new liners. I don't know. So how many pansies will I put in these? I don't know yet. Okay, so I think I need 5 of these in a hanging basket. And so my goal here is not to have these big, lush, beautiful hanging baskets this early in the spring. My goal is to have something, because that's just the way I operate. It makes me so happy to see these little pansy faces. So I need to make sure that they're up high enough to the edge of this hanger. So I'm just gonna work them in, spread them out, work them in. And I'll give them a good soaking after. They'll be fine. Oh, one other thing. So when your pansies, or when most of your annuals come out of their pack, you kind of want to break that little thing that they're doing. These are not terrible, but just give them a little pull, and then the roots will be stimulated to grow more roots. So they're planted right on the edge, because that's where I'm going to be seeing them. I'm going to be seeing them from, eye level, right on the edge. Just a little something. That's all that this is. These are not, masterpiece works of art hanging baskets. They're just a little touch of spring instead of empty. So now I'm going to do both of the containers in front of the greenhouse, because obviously I walk by them every day, probably 10 times. This mix that I'm using, by the way, that I'm planting today is called Delta Speedy Frost. And I always plant I'm very drawn to the blues and the purples, so I always kind of stick with those. And when I do these, again, I'm just going to be doing the front edge, because these are going to stay here probably a little bit longer than the hanging baskets, as long as they are looking good. These pansies, because I'm planting them in the cold, they're going to get fat. They're going to get fat, and the leaves might even turn a little purple because of the cold. And that's great. It's just fine. But they're going to last a long time here. And I want to make sure that I don't limit myself to planting other things. I don't think 3 is enough, though. So I'm going to plant them right up against the edge here, and then I'm not even sure what I have planted, planned for these yet this year. I know I'm going to do like a blue sweet pea back there, but yeah, maybe that's not enough either. So I guess I'll do 6, and I'll just do them like this. And again, I can always move the pansies later on. Or some of the pansies. So I have to say, over the years, some things I do are a great success and others are not so great. But these planters, I just love these planters. These are actually drink coolers that my father-in-law bought me, and they have holes in the bottom. And then to get these trellises to stand up, I put holes so that the trellises go through the container and into the ground. So, because they're pretty shallow. Well, are they shallow? They're about maybe 12 inches deep, but as long as I keep the grass short around them, they look really good. At least I think they look really good. All right, so we have done these 2 containers and 4 of the hanging baskets, and I have 2.5 packs left. Can you believe it? I mean, it just goes so quick. And I won't be buying any more pansies. This is it for me. One flat, that's it. So let's go get these hanging baskets back where they belong. So I'm going to take these remaining pansies that I have and put them out front of the house, kind of to tie in the whole hanging basket thing, and I'll pop a little snip in of those. It's going to look like nothing today, okay? The point of this whole thing is pansies make you happy. Flowers make you happy. Pansies are early. Why not buy some happiness, okay? Water, water, water. Got to water, all right? And the other thing is pansies have to be deadheaded. If you want to keep them blooming a really long time, you, when this flower goes by, let's see, this flower right here, you just, can I do this? Let's see, you just follow the stem down to where it meets the plant and you pinch, and that is it. So kind of low maintenance because they're really easy to deadhead. All right, so thumbs up if you enjoyed spending time with me today, and subscribe if you haven't already so you don't miss out on the next adventure in gardening. See you soon.